The audio quality for this video is obviously not going to be very good, as I don't have a microphone and this is all recorded on an iPad, so if you don't like bad audio quality and that's something that's going to annoy you, I highly suggest you sit this one out.
You came out with the news earlier this week that you're launching 148 new courses with the help of AI. I spent a lot of time on TikTok. I know that the Duolingo team does as well, and there was a lot of pushback to this AI first push. And I wonder, what your response is to some of the concerns that have been raised about how this impacts the humans.
Yeah, there's some real concerns about, of course, people and employees. We're a company that really cares about our employees. I think there was some misunderstanding. This basically, I sent an internal email, and there was some misunderstanding. What we said is that whenever there is some job that can be done by AI, and it can be done really well, then we're unlikely to hire contractors to do that job. Already at the moment, most of the things that AI can do, we're not hiring contractors to do. So this is not a huge change. And for our full-time employees, there's no change whatsoever. We're going to continue employing them because this is such a big opportunity that we're going to be investing quite a bit.
That clip that I just showed you was the CEO of Duolingo addressing recent controversy. However, in my opinion, he didn't seem to address anything. He just kind of reiterated the exact reasons why people are upset with the company and are now refusing to use the app. If you don't already know, Duolingo is one of the most well-known language learning apps that there is. Duolingo is the first result that comes up on the App Store when you search language learning that is not sponsored. And the app has thousands of 5-star ratings. However, those ratings have plummeted in the past week, with hundreds of 1-star spammed reviews coming in from upset users who have now deleted the app. All because of that email that was mentioned in the CEO's response. And I'm just gonna quickly read out some things from this email, because if it wasn't clear enough from that video, the CEO said he wants to make it official that Duolingo is going to be AI first. And I know he did touch upon what that will mean in that video there. However, I'm just going to be reading out the full statement of what being AI first will mean for this app going forward. 1. We'll gradually stop using contractors to do work that AI can handle. 2. AI use will be a part of what we look for in hiring. 3. AI use will be a part of what we evaluate in performance reviews. 4. Headcount will only be given if a team cannot automate more of their work. 5. Most functions will have specific initiatives to fundamentally change how they work. And while the CEO finishes this statement with, all this being said, Duolingo will remain a company that cares deeply about its employees, this whole change to how the app works and the hiring process does not seem to care about humans. Starting with, we will stop using contractors to do work that AI can handle. Most people have speculated that these contractors are human translators. So that means all of the phrases that Duolingo teaches you will be made and translated from English to another language, or vice versa, by an AI. And for a good while now, many people have been speculating that some of these sentences that Duolingo teaches you are generated by an AI, as some of them make little to no sense. Such as, when you're teaching me a German course, why do I need to know how to say, the bear showers on a Wednesday, or the witch likes to go shopping on a Tuesday? And another example that I can give from experience as someone who has been using Duolingo for almost a year before I deleted it, an example of this broken English and sentences that make little to no sense are used in those podcasts that they sometimes get you to listen to, where the cartoon characters talk at you and get you to translate words. Not only are the cartoon characters talking to you in an AI text-to-speech voice.
Welcome to Falstaff's Guide to Humans, where I explore the strange world of humans. Humans sure love their little rituals with tiny bottles. Out here, a good scratch against a tree solves most problems. Thanks for listening to Falstaff's Guide to Humans. Until next time.
It's not a human talking at you, it is an AI-generated voice that is talking to you. Some of the sentences that are said by these AI voices make little to no sense, and if you've been using the app for long enough as I have, you may have picked up on this too, that some of the sentences during these podcasts usually don't make much sense, and that is now explained by this change in putting AI into the app. These sentences do not make sense because these sentences were not written by a human being for your course. They were generated by an AI. That is why they sound so fake. They are fake. And this new policy changes the hiring process in general. That means when they're looking for someone to hire for their company, they will ask them about their knowledge and use of AI. That is a fundamental that an employee for Duolingo has to have now. And as much as the CEO of Duolingo prides himself on having a company that cares so much about its employees, this to me does not seem like a caring change. And I have recently discovered that this firing of contractors in favor of AI is not something new that Duolingo has just started doing. They have been firing employees in favor of AI all the way back in January of 2024, last year. There have been articles by companies such as LinkedIn that have noted Duolingo firing up to 10% of its contractors for AI. And in some of these articles, it is confirmed that these contractors that Duolingo had been firing were translators, which perfectly explains why in recent years some of the sentences that Duolingo has been teaching its users felt so janky and fake. And this also shows us that this is nothing new for Duolingo. This AI push in recent weeks is nothing new. Duolingo has been doing this way back in January of last year. And despite how many times the CEO insists that this company of Duolingo cares deeply about its employees, all of this does not seem like a company that favors humans. This feels like continuous systemic removal of your contractors and translators in favor of janky AI. That does not feel like a company who cares about its employees to me. And the recent response to this AI push from Duolingo in recent weeks, specifically on TikTok, has been brutal. Duolingo's comments on TikTok, once filled with positivity for how well the brand is run, are now filled with people angry, people who are deleting their subscriptions, people who are just getting rid of the app. Just look at some of the comments on Duolingo's recent TikTok. I don't see Duolingo replying to any of these comments now. Delete Duolingo. AI shouldn't take people's jobs. Just deleted the app and cancelled my super subscription, which is a paid subscription to Duolingo to get all their exclusive features. Goodbye Duolingo, I hope AI will have a 300-day streak. Deleting Duolingo because of the AI. Why do you think we don't like Google Translate? Deleted my app. What a terrible mistake to go AI. And my personal favourite, I'm surprised you used actual people for this. Judging by the state of Duolingo's comments, along with the thousands of videos being made by angry TikTokers expressing their extreme disappointment in Duolingo for this change, shows that not many people are happy about this. And as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, there have been thousands of reviews bombing Duolingo's page on the App Store, expressing their disappointment for the AI changes. Not really sure how a computer will help us learn a human language. Thanks for turning humans away from job opportunities for cheaper labour. What an absolute waste of time. Honestly, Duolingo won't help you learn a language to begin with. All the good features are hidden behind subscriptions, and now they're an AI-first app. Just not worth your time at all. I downloaded it just to delete my old account and leave this review. Duolingo announced that they are replacing human workers with AI, which I don't think is something to be proud of. Duolingo just announced that they will be firing their translators and replacing them with AI. This is unacceptable. Unfortunately, the higher-ups in this company no longer see any value in human staff, so we'll be forcing AI on all their users. I have deleted this app from all my devices and will be making sure everyone I know does as well. Absolute grifters, and I'm very sorry to the huge amount of staff who work at Duolingo who will probably be losing their jobs to these millionaires' obsession with AI. Was a great app, but the use of AI is disgusting. I'll actually pay for another service that uses humans, thank you. And here's another one of my personal favourites. Replace me with an AI customer. And I have to say, I agree with every single one of these people complaining about this. You could just say I'm biased myself because I'm an artist and I feel very strongly about AI, but I am frankly very sick of AI being used to replace humans. Because as an artist, I have been noticing artists' jobs getting taken away from them with the rise of generative AI. And now I'm watching language translators get their jobs taken away because of generative AI, and frankly, I am sick to death of it. In my opinion, and as well as many others on TikTok, language is something that is fundamentally human, because as seen in Duolingo, the AI-generated translated sentences just feel wrong, feel generated by a computer. They are not real sentences. Whereas if Duolingo kept the real translators, we would not have this issue. The sentences would feel more natural, more human. And that is a big reason as to why I deleted this app and will not be using it from now on. Duolingo's audience was basically Gen Z and millennials. By using AI and making your company completely AI first, you are alienating a large group of Gen Z who are very strongly anti-AI. And this is why I've called this video the Downfall of Duolingo, because this is a self-imposed downfall. By directly going against one of your main audience's values, you are losing that user base. Duolingo has gone from like 17 million followers to 16.9 in a matter of days, meaning they have lost hundreds of thousands of followers in the span of like 3 days. That just goes to show many people are unhappy with this change and will not be supporting you from now on. And as much as I am glad that people are expressing their distaste, the CEO of Duolingo has made it very clear that they are now an AI-first company and always will be. So even though they will not be changing their policies, I'm very glad that people are making them aware and forcing them to know that people are not happy with this decision. And the worst part is, Duolingo does not care. They aren't responding to any of the comments like they usually do. In all their old videos, you can see them interacting with people and like their fans, whereas now they are completely silent because people are now saying negative things about this change. Duolingo does not care that people are upset. And that is what people often forget. Duolingo is a company. Duolingo is not your friend. And who knows, maybe one day Duolingo will respond to the backlash. If they do, I will probably make a response to it, and we'll talk about people's reactions to this response. However, so far, Duolingo is completely silent. And that's basically it. Duolingo hasn't responded, so there's nothing else to talk about. My whole point is, people are not happy with Duolingo, and I personally am not happy with them either and will no longer be using the app. If you've made it this far into the video, thank you so much for watching. I know the audio quality is terrible, I know. I just can't really afford anything expensive to make stuff on, so that's why I'm making this all from my iPad. And I know my quality is not the best, but I will continue to try and make videos. Like, I am very new to this, but I do want to try and put some stuff out. So if you want to see more commentary stuff like this, I will most likely be talking about trends and things like that, basically stuff on TikTok. I don't have a TikTok account myself, but I like to lurk on there. The music I used in this video is by the YouTuber Chill Peach. I highly recommend you give them a sub. They make some very nice, very chill, copyright-free music. Highly recommend you give them a sub. Very cute stuff. And yeah, that's about it. Bye!